So hello there, the name is Prince Chumanyimedu and I warmly welcome you back to my channel. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through all the tools in Photoshop. Yes, we're going to look at all the tools in Photoshop. So without very much ado, let's get started. So before we start, I would like to say I'll be blending the English and tree as well. Yes, because most of the times we have people watching and then they really don't understand, or let me say, yeah, some of them don't really get the understanding when they watch it in English, but they just understand it when they watch it in Cree. So what I'm going to do is to blend both as we go on. So this one is going to be a lengthy video. Yeah. Okay, so before we start, I would like to say the tools in Photoshop is actually categorized into 6 parts. Yeah, so they are grouped into 6 parts, which is then first one is the move and selection tools. That one is the first one, the move and selection tools. The second one, we have the crop and slice tools. The third one, we have the measurement tools. The fourth one, we have the retouching and painting tools. The fifth one, we have the drawing tools. And then with the sixth one, we have the navigation tools. Yes, so we're going to look at these 6 categories of tools within this period of time. So just get any image at all or get any picture at all from your PC, and then let's get started. Okay, so the first tool we'd like to look at is the move tool. The move tool. Okay, so now when we say the move tool allows you to move layers or selections in the Photoshop document area. So what I'm trying to say is that it actually allows you to move items, like items, objects, anything at all when you pick the moving tool. So we can just move this to this side, we can just move this to this side. When it comes to the layer section too, we can just move the layers with the moving tool. So basically that is what the moving tool does. It actually helps us to move objects. And in can say tool a yɛde kan wɔ Photoshop no sɛ yɛfrɛ no moving tool. Nti saa moving tool no ɛma wo yi biribi free baabi faako ɛde kɔ baabi foforɔ. Nti mɛtumi apagya wei free ne si akɔ ha, mɛtumi apagya aba ha no mu, mɛtumi apagya akɔ sei. Ɛna the same thing so ba layer section a wobɛtumi eyi way free, obetumi eyi way free ha. So we moving tool no so and utumi di sa dwuma no. Okay, so the next tool we'll be looking at is the artboard tool. Yes, is the artboard tool. So it allows you, when we say artboard, it allows you to design multiple web layouts for different devices or different screens. So let me explain it to you with an example. So what I'm trying to say is that let's say you have this and then you are working on, let's say, multiple projects for multiple screens. You can just come here and then you draw this. So it's going to make another artboard here for you. It's just like another page. You can just do this and then it's going to create another one for you. And then let's say you just want to do the same thing here, but you don't really know if you get it right or not. So you can just hold Alt and then you drag it up, and then it will just make a duplicate for you. So you see it's just naming it artboard 1, artboard 2, artboard 3, and then at the end of the day you can work in any of this here. You can work in any of them. So you can have one picture here, you can have a different one here, you can have a different one here, you can have a different one here. Yes, and then basically, yes, that is how the artboard works. Into the make kind of say artboard no ɛma woyɛ adwuma bebree ɛwɔ page different so a wobɛhu ne na the same time. Nti sɛ ofa artboard na tɛne we wɔ hanom ne sei no, wobɛtumi Adobe afa hanom sei, wobɛtumi Adobe aba hanom sei. Nti memfa ne sɛ wopɛ sɛ woyi wei, wopɛ sɛ woyi particular one way, the same thing ba hanom a na ɔbɛyɛ ne sɛ wobɛmia Alt na wopushi aba so hanom sei ɛbɛyɛ ama wo pɛpɛpɛ. Nti wobɛtumi ayɛ adwuma wɔ ahanom ɛne ahanom nso ne nyinaa wobɛhu ne nyinaa wɔ ahanom pɛpɛpɛ a wobɛtumi ayɛ adwuma na wonya any difficulty bia. Nti ɛno ne yɛ artboard no. So the next one we're going to look at is the rectangular marquee tool. That is the second tool on the toolbox. Yeah, the rectangular marquee tool. That is the name. So the rectangular marquee tool allows you to draw rectangular selections outlines. So what do I mean by it allows you to draw rectangular selection outline? So let's say we just want this particular portion of the lady. Yes, so we want this part. All you have to do is to click, you hold, and then you drag to the particular side you want. So let's say you want this selection. Yeah, so you want just this part. At the end of the day, when you make the selection, what you have to do is to copy this particular aspect. So you can hit Ctrl J to copy it or duplicate it, and at the end of the day, you have just this particular part. So that is what the rectangular marquee tool is all about. And then let me add this. You see on the options bar here, we have this different style of boxes here. Okay, so let me explain to you how it actually works. So we just do our selection here, and then the first one is like an addition. So it's like you adding a selection to it. So when you click on the addition one, so let's assume we were just drawing and then we forgot to add this particular part to it. You can just come and then you draw this side, and then it will add the selection to this particular side for you. Yes, so you can just add here, you can add here, and then you can add here. That is what the addition does. And then we have another one here that is called a subtraction. So it actually subtracts a selection. So let's say you are making the selection and then you mistakenly selected this particular side. You can just use the subtraction option to just subtract this part out, to subtract this part out, to subtract this part out, and then to subtract this part out. So that is basically what the selection the subtraction does. So the next one that we have there is like interception. So like it's intercept, but with me I call it selection within selection. Why do I call it selection within selection? Okay, so let me make this here so that you understand it perfectly. So I have this particular selection here. So now if it is on this particular one, it allows you to select a selection within a selection. I know you are getting confused, but let me break it down. So let's say I want just this part. I want this side. So if I come and I draw it this way, it's actually going to take away all the other selections and then just leave this side for me. Let me do it again. If I want this particular side, all what I have to do is to come here and then I draw it over this side, and then let's say I leave it here. It's going to take away all the other selections and just leave out the particular side that I selected. So it has made a selection within the selections that I've already done. Yeah. So now my person can say rectangular marquee tool. I'm now selecting a rectangle. Like amount your selection our rectangle way nti say o select we say na o person would be ka ho a obetumi aba befa we o select a e be beba be ka ho o select a e be beba be ka ho so o person yi be free ma o beba befa second one no o ye ni say a e be yi be free o ye ni say a e be yi bi so e free mo sa pepepe na etie na last one also say o person use last one a yemfa ne say why be say yemfa ne say why be say okay. Nti sɛ wopɛ last one no ɛma wo yi sɛ woyi ndi sei na ɛbɛyi nea wayɛ ne nyinaa na ɛgya this particular side ne pɛ ama wo. Nti me friend the selection within selection. Nti I hope sɛ wate ase ɛbɛtumi akɔ yɛnim. Okay, yeah. So the next tool we'll be looking at is the elliptical marquee tool. Okay, so this one is another form of marquee tool, but this particular one allows you to make a selection in an elliptical way. So when we say an elliptical way, it allows you to make a selection in a circle form. So let's pick the elliptical marquee tool and then we hold and drag. So you see what it's actually doing there. So it's allowing us to make a selection in a circle form. So if we should just leave it here and then let's say we duplicate this side. If we if we hide this is what we are going to get. Yes. So yeah, that is how the elliptical marquee tool work. Okay. See me see elliptical marquee tool no. And also a selection tool, but and also ma we selection no circle way. And to say we say ya ubenya selection the paper but ebeba in a circle form. And no na your friend elliptical marquee tool no. And to say me copy way ya ubongu say o hide way ya once the selection now about circle form. Okay, so that is how the elliptical marquee tool works. So now we have what we call the single row marquee tool. The single row marking tool. So now this tool in Photoshop allows you to select a single row of pixels in the image from left to right. So it allows you to select a single row pixels in an image from left to right. Let's zoom in so that you actually see what I mean. So when you make selection, you see the picture, every picture in Photoshop, like every picture is being made up of pixels. So when you use the single row marquee tool, it allows you to select a single row pixels in an image from the from left to right. So it just, instead of it selecting everything, it just pick one particular row and then it selects all the pixels on that particular row for you. And so then we kind of say selection tool, you know, and my select near friend is a row no pixels na ɛwɔ that particular row no so no am selecting in na at a particular given time, like am selecting in na per to me as well pixels na was a particular row no so na ebe select amount. And then the next one we have is the single column marking tool. So it's the same thing just as this one, but this one selects in rows. So it's the same thing. When I click here, it will also select in row for me from top to down. Once we to say first one, say oh yeah, will select it in rows. It's best selected pixels no in a particular line from a show and see from sapepepe and it's here. So I think we are done with the marquee tool here. Yeah. So the next one we are moving to is the lasso tool. That is the third tool on the toolbox, the lasso tool. So it allows you to actually draw a freehand or a freeform selection in or around an object. So let me explain it to you. So you see the first one with the rectangular marquee tool, we're selecting in rectangle form, and then the other one allowed us to make the selection in a circle form without we being able to manipulate it or anything like that. But this particular one allows us to have a free rule of however we want our selection to be. So assuming I want my selection to look this way, so I want to draw and make my selection look this way, yeah, it will actually look this way. And then at the end of the day, if I should copy it, this is what I'm going to get. So it just allows you to move freely. Yes, that is how this selection tool is. Into the mechanism, particular selection tool, you know, and my movie free, and my call and my selection style be our pen, style be our kuma pen be out to me a selection, no, so pen at this two way, selection, no. And the boundaries behind who to me yeah in a UPBA so selection two way. Okay, so the next one we are going to look at is the polygonal lasso tool. Is the polygonal lasso tool. So the polygonal lasso tool allows you to select or surround an object in a polygonal way. So when you say a polygonal way, like straight edges. So it's not like the other one that we had the free range to draw whatever that we want without being restricted. But this particular one allows us to move in a straight line. So let's say I click, I move, I click, I move. You can see that all the selection that I'm doing is in a straight line. That is how this particular selection works. Yes. So in the mechanism, particular two way, my way selection, my way selection is straight. A delay with straight lines. Bibi obe my way in straight. And so umia. Na umia. Once umia no. Na selection now, a straight into say be shame and as we enter. At the end of the day, selection now I in now a straight selections with straight lines. Pen as a two-way. Here. The next one we're going to look at is the magnetic lasso tool. The magnetic lasso tool. Now, this particular lasso tool allows you to how should I put it? It allows you to make selections outside an object. It allows you to make a selection outside an object just by moving the mouse cursor around it. So let's assume we want to select this lady. Okay, so what we'll do is just click once, and then all you have to do is just to move your mouse cursor around the lady. All what you have to do is just move your cursor around the lady, and then you see that it's making the selection for you. It's actually catching the edges of the picture for you. So let me just move it straight. Like, let me just do a rough selection here. Let me just do a rough selection, and then let's see what the two actually did for us. So let me just end it somewhere here. Yeah, let me end it somewhere here. Okay, so at the end of the day, when you are done, and then let's copy this. Yeah, so when you're done, you see it has just made the selection for you just by moving the mouse cursor around the object. Yeah, so basically that is what it does. That is how it works. And in America, can say that particular selection tool, and now we selection, ɛwɔ object no ho wɔ bere a ombre nti sɛ womia so baako pɛ a ne hia ne sɛ wobɛgyae wobɛfa mouse cursor no na wode afa nipa korɔ no ho nti as wode fa nipa korɔ no ho no na ɛyɛ selection ne ma wo wode fa wo nsɛm de fa ho no ɛkyekye nipa korɔ no ɛtiri nyɛ ne honam no nti wode fa ho no na ɛyɛ selection no nyinaa ama wo pɛpɛpɛ nti we sɛ wo use a ombre koraa wode fa ho a na koba ya na wayɛ ne yɛ nyɛ saa owia wobɛhu sɛ nea woyɛ ne nyinaa ayɛ basa nti sɛ memfa ne sɛ me ɛnde ne wɔ ha na sɛ mewia wobɛhu sɛ mekɔpe wei a ɛbɛma me biribi te sɛ sɛ asɛ akɔpe picture no ama me ɛyi picture no ama me pɛpɛpɛ nti ɛno ne ɛno saa na ɛno nso yɛde yɛ nti next one yɛbɛhwɛ no ɛyɛ quick selection tool. The next one we're going to look at is the quick selection tool. So now the quick selection tool allows you to select an object just by dragging. It allows you to select an object by painting over it with the quick selection tool brush. So just by painting on the image or the object, it will do the selection for you. So let's say we are painting around it. So we just click and then we drag around it, and then you could see that it's making that form of selection for me. So if we copy this, at the end of the day we'll have this. So most people actually like to do this because it really doesn't waste time, and then it is also fast in doing it. That is how the quick selection tool works. So the quick selection also has an addition and subtraction. So let's say you were making a selection and then you mistakenly selected this part and want to take it out. All what you have to do is come for the subtraction one and then just brush around where you don't want the selection to be, and at the end of the day it will just take off the selection from that particular aspect for you. And in name can say selection tool you find a quick selection. Nehiane so nehiane so be ya ne se ofa tool na o de be fa nipa ne so keke and o de be fa ne o person select no so no e be select ama pepepe and na so your selection na bia wan sheda na okomia bebi a o se o select ya na obetumi aye ne so be fa subtraction one no na o de afa ho na eyi particular side na umpe ne na every eho ama nti eno ne quick selection tool. Yeah, and then the quick selection tool. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is the magic wand tool. The magic wand tool. So the magic wand tool allows you to select let me put the sentence right. It allows you to select areas with similar colors with a single click. So every particular aspect in the work that has the same color would actually be selected. So let's say I want to select all the particular all the areas in this image that has this particular color. If I just click it once, it's going to do all the selection for me. Yes, let me use a different picture so that you get what I'm saying. So like this picture, this is a drawing that I did. Let me use this one to just do an example for you. So I want to select all the parts in this picture that has this particular color here. If I click once, you see this particular one here is a gradient something. So it's just going to move or select this color for me. So let's say I'm choosing the skin color. So if I click one, it's going to select all the particular parts in the picture that has this particular color. So it selects the area that has a similar color. Yes, that is what it actually does. It's the kind of say particular tool way I'm select say part and as a mawuji part a ekita similar colors are ɛsɛ ɛwɔ particular as ɛwɔ work ne mu no pɛpɛɛpɛ ɛna ma nti sɛ mpɛ sɛ meyi white wei a memia white no so bonus white ne nyinaa ɛwɔ work ne mu no nyinaa a select ne nyinaa ma me. So basically that is what it is being used for. Yeah, so we are done with the how do you call it, we are done with the move and selection tools. Yeah, we are done with the move and selection tools. Okay, so before we move on, I would like to say you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed to the channel. You like the video if you have not yet liked the video, and then if you have any questions or you have anything to say, just leave them in the comment section below for me. Yeah, you can also share the links to friends so that they can also learn something. Okay, so let's continue. So the next set of tools we'll be going to is the crop and slice tool. Yeah, but here I'm not going to waste much time on it, and then there are some of the tools I'll be skipping because some of them are really not necessary. Yes, in Photoshop we have some useless tools. I think I'll do a different video talking about some useless tools in Photoshop. We don't actually use them. Yeah, we don't actually use them. So with a crop tool, I don't really have to talk much, but I think everybody uses a crop tool. I think everybody has used crop tool in his or her life, like in his or her life before. Yeah. So the crop tool in Photoshop, it just allows you to crop an image and to remove unwanted areas. Okay. So what we are trying to say is that let's say we just don't want this particular side, you can just crop this side out, crop this side out, and then crop this side out. At the end of the day, if I should hit the enter key, it will just take out all the other sides and then just leave this particular side for me. Okay, it's in American as a crop tool, no. The ma we part are umpe ewo picture ni. And say be a mempe ahano be a mempe hano mempe ahano pese picture ni ende wa ha me pese ende wa ha. And is we end say ya na umia enter who su crop to ne be yin ni na wo ho ama na eja ni say pepepe ama. So I'm going to skip the perspective crop to, I'm going to skip the slide to, and then I'm also going to skip the slice select to. So let's move on to the frame. So with a frame, let me use this one to explain. Let me use this page to explain the frame side for you. So now the frame tool is actually new in Photoshop CC 19 upwards. Yes, there's something new that the Adobe people just added to it. Yeah, so it's just something new that Adobe company added to the tools. So it lets you it actually allows you to place image into a rectangular or elliptical shapes. Yes, I don't know if you get it, but let me explain it to you. So with the frame, let's say this is the frame that I've drawn. Yeah, so I've just drawn this frame. Let me drag and drop a picture here and then let's see something. So let me use this picture. I'm dragging and then at the end of the day I'll drop this picture here. Yeah, the picture actually ends here. You see this blue thin lines you are seeing is the size of the picture, but when they put it here, the frame actually captures the picture into it. It's just like you creating a clipping mask, so it allows you to fit a picture into a frame. So let's say I can move this picture around anyhow I want it. I can make it big, I can just reduce and increase the size of the picture, but at the end of the day, anyhow I do it, it's going to stick in to the frame. That is how the frame actually works. Nti neme kanu say we use frame tool now. Wo the picture share frame a wado mu. Nti say frame ni na say wo draw say me betwe picture we me fa say me betwe picture we e de my main trim bi okay. So me betwe picture we edit to particular side way a picture ne fit into frame ne pepepe into no matter how obey picture ne kese anaso obey ne keto bia no oye dan a ebeka wo frame nim mpie v frame nim nti eno any dwuma frame no edi so I think you understand the how the frame works. Yeah, I think you understand how the frame works. So now the next set of tools we are going to move is to as the measuring tools, the measurement tools. That is the next tool that we'll be looking at, the measurement tools. Okay, so the first tool in the measurement tool is the eyedropper. So now when we say eyedropper, what do we actually mean? The eyedropper tool samples colors in an image. So if I want to pick, let me use this guy again. Okay, so if I want to pick, let's assume I want to pick the same color. I want to paint this same color here. There is no way I'm going to get this same color. There is no way I'm going to get it again, even though I was the one who do it. There's no way I'm going to get the same color. Now, mind you, these two colors kind of looks the same way, but if I paint it on it here, you could see that there's a big difference between this color and then this color. So now what the eyedropper helps us to do is to sample colors from it. So if I want to paint the same color here, all what I'll do is to come and pick my eyedropper tool, and then I'm going to click here, and then automatically it samples the color for me. So now if I should paint here, this color and this color is the same. So you could see there's no difference between what I just painted and then the color in the body. That is what the eyedropper actually does here. So I'll go ahead and then I'm going to skip the 3D. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this one, and then let's look at the rules. So as I'm working, you could see that we have this particular how do you call it? We have this particular rules here that allows me to just check like it's just like the ruler that we know the rule. So it actually helps us in taking measurement. That is why we say it is actually measuring tools. So you could see that as I move it here, this is actually moving at the top here. So it's just telling me how far I'm going there, where I am. It's just basically taking the measurements for me. So it's like a rule that we use to measure things in our work. Yeah. So the next thing I would like to do is to move to the note tool. Yeah. Oh, I didn't explain this in English, in Chi, sorry. So, and in American, say, eyedropper tool, no ben say, a fa color or pay a work, muntis and pe color where, ne ben se me so be fa color we pepe pamam. Once say be fa color we pepe pamam, a be fa color we pepe pamam. And se o pe color be a work be man, and so be fa eyedropper tool no dey afa. And a rule no so no, yeah, they take measurements, and ma wo susu like a boy ma wo susu near my pepe bia adewe ewase ebia fiti ha kopema ha ec number say and then I do rule here. So now I'm on the note 2. So the note 2 allows you to actually attach text based notes on a document or an image in Photoshop. So what I'm trying to say is that, let's say I'm working in an art on an artboard, or I'm working with multiple pictures, and then I want to leave a note or something that will remind me to do to take a particular action when I come back. You can just use this to take a note. So you can just click once, and then you type whatever that you want to type. So let's say I want to say okay, so let's say this is Bambi's picture. So this is Bambi's picture. Yeah. So this is Bambi's picture. So if I leave it here, anytime I come back and then I press on this, you could see that they have open notes. When you open it, it will actually tell you what you type or what you intended doing. So let's just assume I typed crop me when you come back. Immediately I open it, it will tell me I said I'll crop this picture when I come back. So basically that is what the note is being used for. Until Nemeka is a note, na yɛde yɛ ano sɛ yɛde twerɛtwerɛ nneɛma to hɔ nom sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wobɛba abɛkae na wode ayɛ nea wopɛ sɛ woyɛ ɛwɔ picture bi aho nti sɛ wotwerɛ note na wobɛtumi atwerɛ ato hɔ sɛ meba a mɛyɛ sei wobaa na wokae note na ɛbɛma wakae sɛ wokaa sɛ woba a wobɛyɛ sei na wayɛ sei. Okay, so let's look at the next one there. So the count tool allows you to count let me see. The count tool allows you to manually count the number of objects in an image. So assuming I want to count all these things in an image, so what I'll do is to just click once. It will count here 1, 2. This is 3. The human being is 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9, and then this is 10. So on a regular day, I have 10 objects in the so let's say 11 including the background. So on a regular day, it's just telling me I have 10 objects in the image that I have. So that is what the count tool is actually used for. Count tool near the number objects or na nneɛma dodoɔ a ɛwɔ work mu nti sɛ bɛpɛ sɛ mekan wɔ mu no na nea ne sɛ mɛba bɛfa count tool no na memia nso a ɛbɛ count 1, ɛbɛtwerɛ 2, ɛbɛtwerɛ 3, ɛbɛtwerɛ 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. Won't say ne nyinaa ɛkyerɛw sɛ nneɛma na ɛwɔ work no mu ne nyinaa yɛ 11 nti ɛno ana yɛde count tool no ɛyɛ. Okay, so the next set of you are done with this particular one. The next set we are going to move to is the retouching and painting tool. Yeah. So the retouching and painting tool, the first tool that starts it the first tool that starts with the first tool there is the spot healing tool. Now with the spot healing tool, you see most of the times when you're on social media, you intend chatting with some people, you look at their pictures on their DP or the pictures that they have posted, you see they have smooth faces, they have really nice faces, but when you meet them in person, you see that that is not what you signed up for. The picture you have on your phone and the person standing right in front of you are two different human beings altogether. So this is actually what makes the magic most of the times. So now the spot healing tool allows you to just take off pimples or unwanted areas in removes blemishes. Like it is just used to remove blemishes and other minor problems in a work of art. So let's just assume you see there is this small pimples here, there's one here, I just want to take them off. I don't like it. All what you have to do is to just click on the spot healing tool and then you click on it just once, it will take it off. So as I click on it, you see that it's actually taking all those things off for me. So all those things that I don't like, it's just taking them off. This picture really doesn't have things to work on that much, like you would have seen what I'm talking about, but at least it's explaining what I'm saying. Okay, until the can say particular spot healing tool way the paper maybe a pimples and as maybe a winning my own pet and then mia so to say be on mia say a be paper ma mia so no nzana paper na yi ne mani na e free ho at the mount and then what I want to add is that it has this particular side that you can tune the softness, the spacing, how big or how wide it should cover, how hard you want it to take the unwanted part of the size, and then all those things. Yeah, and then the next one we are looking at is the healing brush. Yeah, we have what we call the healing brush. Now the healing brush lets you repair large problems. So it's just like the spot healing tool, but this particular one allows you to work on much wider areas. So let's just say I don't like this here, so I'll just paint on it, and then at the end of the day you see it's taking it off. So it allows you to work on just wide areas in an image. Into the mechanic say some particular tool way the healing brush no ɛma wo yɛ adwuma wɔ wide areas nti nneɛma bi a wompɛ no ɛma wo yiyi ne nyinaa free some particular side na wompɛ ne nyinaa. Okay, so moving on, I'll skip this patch, I'll skip this side, and I'll skip this side. So okay, so the next one we're going to use is the brush tool. Now the brush tool is actually one of the simplest tool to use in Photoshop. Okay, so it's a primal tool for painting. Yes, so it is used to paint or make strokes in a particular given space or something. So let's say I just want to do this. So I just want to paint this. I just want to paint this. I just want to paint this. And then it's painting it for me. So it is just used for painting. That is why it is called a brush. Okay, and then in doing so, it also has some settings that you have to do. So you see, when I do this, it's actually a hard brush. See, you're actually seeing the edges to be sharp, straight, and then all those things. So now what happens if you come here and then you decrease the hardness? Now the hardness, when you decrease the hardness and you draw, look at how it comes. So it's like you're spraying. So it actually allows you to have a whole different feeling about how this particular brush actually works. And then with this one, we also have how clear you want it to come. That is the opacity. So if I should put the opacity on 23, you can see I'm doing it's coming, but it's coming. It's just showing up bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. And then we can also decrease the flow of how we want it to flow. So we can also decrease the flow, and then this is how the flow actually works. So we can play around with the smoothness and then all those things. And in the can say brush tool no, yeah, the painty or Photoshop. And it's a brush tool no. Once I say hardness and 100%, now o draw a draw once say oh yeah no o painting no the man o painting in na ba straight any like once work and I solid and kasa ba oba na be decrease hardness na as a wo painting no na as a beba as a ember as a wo spray bibi no sa pepepe na atie nti bit me reduce size embra bebre ubetumi reduce size umia so bia inflow ubetumi increasing and also be decrease smoothness no styles enrun smoothness and manema ni na no ubetumi aye no wo ho. Okay, no. So the next two we'll be looking at actually this particular one is actually useless in Photoshop. To me it's useless because I don't know if anyone uses this, but is actually useless. Yeah, and then let me skip this and then let me use the mix brush. It's a mix brush, you know. Once I painty yellow no. Okay, yemfa different color na yemfa colorway. And to say oh paint this a mix brush. Once say oh paint na mix colors no. Mix colors no. And so once I mix brushes no mix colors no. So what I'm saying is that the mix brush is actually a tool in Photoshop. It's actually a brush tool in Photoshop that simulates elements of real painting, such as mixing or combining colors. So it just combines two colors for you. So let's just assume we want to try and then mix two colors or three colors at the same time. It just mix the colors for you, and then you'll be getting something nice. So basically that is what the mix brush is used for. Yeah, so the next one we are moving on is to look at the clone tool. Yeah, just to look at the clone tool. So the clone tool here, let me use this flower as an example here. So cloning is just getting a duplicate of an original substance or an original object. So if I want to clone this particular, I want to clone this, I want to copy this and then bring it here. Okay, all we have to do is to pick the clone tool, hold Alt, and then you click once on it. So you could see that it has actually cloned it for me. So if I click here, you could see that it has just moved, it has just copied this here to this particular side for me. It's the same, it's just reflecting whatever that is here to this side for me. So I can just clone whatever that I have at the left hand side to the right hand side. And then I can say clone tool no. Yeah, the year as a yeah the copy at the ones or at the papa or wobɛtumi akɔpe adeɛ papa na nti wobɛnya adeɛ mmienu but meanwhile no baako yɛ original ɛna baako yɛ fake nti saa pɛpɛɛpɛ na nti wobɛfa clone tool na ɛhia nso wobɛmia alt na womia so baako pɛ na ɛclone ama wo na wobɛklike wɔ hanom a ɛbɛclone ɛbɛba abɛclone ɛwɔ hanom ama ɛbɛsan bɛyɛ copy wɔ hanom ama pɛpɛɛpɛ a ɛbɛyɛ te sɛ flowers na ɛwɔ work no mu no baako wɔ ha saa pɛpɛɛpɛ na cloning tool no ɛteɛ so the next one we'll look at is to look at the I actually don't have anything pattern, so I'm going to skip this particular one. Yeah, and then eraser tool. So now the eraser tool, I'll not spend time on it very much because each and every one of us know what eraser is being used for. So I just want to clean this particular side, and then that is what you use the eraser tool for. So you can also increase the hardness of the eraser tool by just choosing this side, and then let's say when you are erasing something, it just erase it for you, and then you at the end of the day you have a smooth or yeah, you have a smooth edge or something like that. And then I can say eraser tool no yɛ de pepa adeɛ nti adeɛ bi a ɛwɔ work no ma wompɛ bia no wobɛtumi de apepa ɛna wobɛtumi increase sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ den anaasɛ sɛnea ano no bɛyɛ from ama wa na wode paper BB. So the next thing we're going to look at is the magic. I'm going to skip this one and then let's look at the magic eraser tool. So the magic eraser tool deletes or erases let me put it in a more unique way for you. So the magic eraser tool is similar to the magic wand tool. You see the magic wand tool actually samples it actually selects color that are similar in nature like in a particular object. That is the same way this one also deletes anything that is similar to the color that you pressed on. So assuming I want to delete this particular anything in the work that has this particular color, when you click on it, it deletes this for you. So because the background, you can't really see it, but the background has this tint and shade as in a gradient format. So you have to be clicking this way to be taking it out, clicking it this way to be taking it out. So at the end of the day, you can even use this particular tool to actually crop a picture, but it's really not the best. It's really not the best in cropping pictures, but I think it has actually done a perfect job for us. If we should hide this, yeah, it has actually done a perfect job for us. So basically, that is what the magic eraser tool is being used for. And the mechanism magic eraser tool, yeah, they delete nneɛma or anasa color ɛwɔ work mu a ne nyinaa kita asɛ ne nyinaa yɛ the same thing. So mpɛ sɛ me delete wei a na ɛhia nso bɛmia so because ne nyinaa yɛ the same color ne nti no nsa delete ne nyinaa wɔ ha adelete ne nyinaa wɔ ha aha ɛna aha nso okay nti wobɛhu sɛ memia so pɛ na adelete ne nyinaa ma me saa pɛpɛɛpɛ na magic eraser tool no ɛteɛ okay so we are done with the magic eraser tool, and then the next one we're going to look at is the gradient tool. So now with the gradient tool, let's create a layer on this, and then let me show you how the gradient works. So now the gradient tool draws a gradual blend between multiple colors. Did I put it well? Yeah. So it draws a gradual blend between two or more colors. So let's say you see here I have green, and then I have it's actually fading off to white. So let's assume I draw this here. I just click and then I drag. So I draw. You see, it has actually you have this green here, and then as it's coming, it's moving to white. So it's just like doing things a shade. So if you change the blending mode, you see at the end of the day you'll be having something nice here. So you can just play around, and then you'll be using it for retouching and then all those things. And then if you want to change the gradients, the color of your gradients, let's say you don't want this green, you want to change it to something else, you have some presets gradients here, you have some gradients here that you can actually try your hands on, and then they will work for you. But if you don't want any of the ones that Photoshop has given, you can just create yours by clicking here, and then you can choose the color that you want for this. You can also choose the color that you want for this. Yeah. Sometimes you can have like 5 or more colors. You can just click here, and then you sample a different color from this side, and then you can just click add, sample another color from this side also. So at the end of the day, if you draw, you have multiple colors coming out just like a rainbow. Yeah, so that is what the gradient the gradients actually does. So the kind of gradients tool no a blend day and I say a kika colors boom colors best you know and I said me and some boom and so me also say I won't say colors never had no and me funny say we colors me into so you see ya say Obana o draw ni say ya which means I draw amount colorway is different from colorway is different from colorway is different from colorway and so all the blending modes in the diagram say as time goes on ebeye adwuma ni na ama okay nti no so that is the work of the gradients tool. The next one we're going to look at is the paint bucket. So now, unlike the gradients tool that you can play around with multiple colors, the paint bucket actually fills an area of similar colors with your foreground color. Yes. Into foreground color in the way, foreground color green. No colors never so in color be a foreground color. So with the gradients, with the paint bucket, sorry, when let's say you create a layer and then you click once, it will just fill it with the color that you have here for you. So it just gives you that raw color just like that. And then if you want to change it, yeah, you can just change it this way. So let me kind of say gradient you kind of say paint buckets no ɛma wofa color baako pɛ foreground colors ne nyinaa ɛma wofa na omia so a ɛno color baako na ne bɛhwie gu so ama wo color baako na ɛnsesa ɛnyɛ ne hwee ma wo color baako na ne bɛhwie gu so ama wo nti ɛno nso n'adwuma ɛno no. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at I'm going to skip this one and then I'm going to move to the blur tool. Yeah. So now with the blur tool, you see those of us, those who use iPhones, the iPhone 7, is it 7 or 7 plus? Yeah, upwards. You see, you take these portrait pictures and then you see that the background just blurs out and then all those things. Yeah, you can use Photoshop to do the same then. Okay, so let's duplicate this layer here so that we'll have a before and then we have an after. So let me increase the size of the blurring tool here, and then you can increase the strength, like how hard, like the strength you want, how the pressure is, how hard you want it to have effect on your picture. So let's say we are blurring this particular side, so we have started blurring, so we are blurring and then let's say we blur this way, can blur this way, and then okay, I think this is okay. So let's look at the before and then let's look at the after. So this is the after, this is the before. So we have before and then we have after. So when you look here, you can see that it's kind of blurring it for you. So you can just take your time and then you blur the background of this particular picture here. Yeah, that is it. And then we have the sharpen tool. So the sharpen tool the sharpen tool just allows you to sharpen areas you paint over. Yeah. So let's say you want to sharpen this particular side. When you brush around it, you see it's actually sharpening it for you, but I just overdid it, so it's kind of making it having an effect on the skin. But basically it allows you to sharpen the particular parts that you brush on. Okay, nti na make kind say sharpen tool no particular side bi a wopɛ bi say bi a wopɛ sɛ eji ne ho pie no omia wo brush so bi a ebeyi hɔ no be pie ama wo ebeyi na ɛwɔ hɔ no ne na epie ama nti n'adwuma ɛyɛ no no. Okay, nti n'adwuma ɛyɛ no no. So the next tool we would like to look at is the smudge tool. So the smudge tool smears the area you paint over. It smears the area that you paint over. And most of the times people use it to do painting, like they have smudge paintings and then all those things. Yeah, I think I have a video on smudge painting. You can just check. I think I'll leave a link in the description below for that particular link. So you want to know how the smudge painting, the smudge tool works, you can just watch that video and then you can learn one or two. So let's say this, and then you brush here. You see, as you are brushing, it's actually it's like it's just painting it for you. So it's just smearing the particular side for you. So let's see. You see, so you just have to take your time, and then you you just have to take your time, and then you play around it, and then it's actually work for you. So let me kind of say Smash 2 no wobɛtumi de ayɛ painting wobɛtumi de ayɛ nneɛma bebree but asɛ ɛhɔnom no most of the times no wobɛtumi de afefa work no ho saa na ɛma no yɛ ɛbɛtumi ama woanya like different form of texture bi about the work so sɛ wase aseɛ saa pɛpɛɛpɛ na yɛde Smash 2 no ɛyɛ. Okay, so the next tool we are going to look at is the Dutch tool. Yeah, is it Dutch or Dutch? Yeah, it's the Dutch tool. So the Dutch tool, it actually allows you to is it add how should I say it? It actually allows you to add lights, like it shows lights on a particular area or a particular portion that you will paint. So let's assume you see this particular side of the lady is dark, so let's assume I paint over it. So you see it's adding lights to it, so you can it just shows lights on the particular area or the particular side that you paint on. So you can just use it to be adding lights to your pictures and then all those things. Yeah, it actually gives a nice effect. In Cinemecon is a Dutch tool, no. ɛma wo the light anaasɛ ɛto kanea ato baabi a hɔ ayɛ sum so wotumi sɛ ha yɛ sum no wo brahye fa hɔnom no a ɛma wo light wɔ hɔnom ɛma hɔnom no yɛ bright so nti ɛno adwuma a ɛno nso ɛyɛ a ɛno no okay ɛno adwuma a ɛno nso yɛ ano no okay. The next thing we will look at is the burn tool. So now this tool will darken the areas you paint over. So just like the other one that shows light, this one darkens. So assuming this side is too bright, you can just darken it. You can just darken this side, you darken it. But you just have to be careful so that you don't distort your picture. So at the end of the day, you can just be darkening the brighter side of your picture. In cinema, kind of said, burn tool no, ɛde esum to baabi a kanea no dɔɔso nti sɛ kanea no dɔɔso wɔ particular place too much wobɛtumi ayɛ na hɔ no ma no ayɛ sum kakra sɛnea wohu no pɛpɛɛpɛ saa pɛpɛɛpɛ. Okay, so now the next tool is let's see, yeah, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to skip this particular one, and then we're going to move to my favorite tool of all, the pen tool. Yeah, I'm going to move to the pen tool, but this particular tool is in a different section. So we are now moving to the drawing and type tool, the drawing and type tools. So this particular tools that we'll be looking at are for drawings and for typing. So this particular tool is one of the most simplest tools in Photoshop, yes, still the difficult tool in Photoshop to use. Yes. What do I mean by that? Most people or most graphic designers don't like this tool just because they feel like it is stressful, like it is difficult to use. But I can assure you the pen tool is the most simplest tool to use in Photoshop. Let me explain to you why. Okay, so when you pick the pen tool, one thing that you have to be careful about is to know, like you have to be able to determine if you want to draw a shape or you want to create a path. What do I mean by you want to draw a shape or you want to create a path? So drawing a shape, you can just draw a shape with the pen tool this way. You see, it's just drawing an irregular shape for you just because I've selected shape here, and then you can just change the color of your shape or anything at all that you want. So you can just change the color of the shape here. You can add strokes to it. You can also change the color of the stroke, or you can leave it how it is. How do you want the strokes to be? Do you want it to be in a broken lines? How do you want it to be? Like you can just play around it, and then you get it. So now with the main agenda of the pen tool, my main agenda is to making is making a path around it. So most of the times we use this tool for cropping. Okay, so now you pay attention very much, or it's just trying to, like, it'll just mess up with your mind. So if you want to crop this picture, what you have to do is you can't just be going around and then hitting this side like this. No, it's actually not making sense. So what we'll do is to just pick a first point, and then let's say you come and stand here. So we are picking this point, and then we click and then we hold. You don't leave it. So now the pen tool works like a little child. You see, most of the times when you tell them move to the left, they go to the right. When you tell them go to the right, they go to their left. Sometimes they don't know. Yeah, it's just that they don't know the difference between their left and then their right. That is how the pen tool works. So you have to control the pen tool, and then you have to let it obey you. So because the pen tool doesn't know its left and then its right, what we are going to do is the trick in using the pen tool is if you want it to move to the left, you have to move your mouse cursor to your right, and then if you want it to move to the right, you have to move your mouse cursor to the left. Okay, what do I mean by that? So let's say I click here. Now I want to move this particular let's say I want to move this particular line. I want to move this particular line here. I want to move it to the left so that I actually get this side bent this way. What I'm going to do is to when I click, I'm going to move to the right. I'm going to move my mouse cursor to the right, and then you see that it has actually made that particular curve for me. When you are done with it, what you have to do, you see we have this particular point, we have this particular point here. Now this particular point, these 2 points actually determines the direction of the pen tool. Yes, it actually determines the direction of the pen tool. So if you don't do anything about it, and then let's say you want to click here, you see where it has started from. So it's actually taking us off track. So what we are going to do is after drawing this, after getting our bend side, we'll hold alt and then we click on this to take this side out. So now we want to move here, and then we move, we click and then we move. So now another one, we want to move, we want to get this side, this bend side this way. All we have to do is to hold alt and then we take this side out, and then we draw, we stand here and then we draw this way. Yeah, and then we draw this way. So if you are really good with a pen tool, this whole picture shouldn't take you about 5 minutes in copying it. So let's say we're copying, I'm copying this particular side, so I can just be doing it this way. And then okay, let me do something here. You see, when I curved it this way, it actually gave me this and then gave me this. But now I want to move in a straight line. I don't want to curve or do any bend sides or something like that. So instead of holding alt and then clicking here, I'll just hold alt and then click on this particular one, and then I can just move it here. So I can just move it around anywhere I want it. So I can just move it here, and then when I click, it will just create it for me. So I come and stand here, I bend it a little bit to my right at the top, and then I leave it. So when I hold alt, I can just do it this way, and then I move this way, I move this way, and then I move this way. Yeah, so if you want to move to the right, remember you have to move to the left. And if you want to move to the left, now I want this particular side, I want this side to move to the left. So what I'll do is when I click, I have to drag my mouse cursor to the right so that it can do that curve for me. So yeah, basically this is what the pen tool is being used for. And then you can also use it for selection. Yeah, you can actually use it for selection. So this particular picture here is I'll actually take time in cropping this because looking at the hair, it has this bends, curves, and then all those things. So let me just use this cap she's having in her hands. So let's say I have this, and then I'll just come and stand here, bend it this way, and then I'll get it. Yeah. So I'll just take this side off. So I don't want the hand to come. So what I'll do is to just move around it this way. So let's say you make a mistake, and then you can just move. You can just hold alt, and then you come to the middle side. You can just move it in, and then you can come here, and then at the end of the day you can play around it, move it out, and then all those things. Yeah, you can also use control to actually move the line in and then out. So let me just focus on finishing with this, and then let me show you how to make a selection with this. Yeah, let me just show you how to make a selection with this. So I'm actually not taking my time because time is fast spent, and then this video is already lengthy, so I'm just doing a rough selection here. Yeah. Okay. So now after you have finished drawing this, what you have to do is just to right click, and then you can just make a selection, and then you hit OK. So if I should um, duplicate this particular side, or what I'll have is the mark that she has in her hands. But just because I didn't do it well, you are seeing this rough edges here. Yeah. But before we continue, I would like to say that the very best tool for selection, the very best tool when it comes to selection is the pen tool. The pen tool selects very well, more than all the tools in Photoshop. Yeah. And then the next one we'll look at is the freeform pen tool. So it's the same thing, but this one is just allows you to work freely. Yeah, it just allows you to make selections freely, or just create path freely. Yeah. So that is it for the freeform tool. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and then skip all these ones. They are really not necessary. And then let's move to the type 2. Yeah, let's move to the type 2. So now with the type 2, um it actually allows you to type anything that you want. So if you want to do a type and you want to actually type something, all what you have to do is come for the type 2, and then let's just type something here. So let's say my name is Bambi. So my name is Bambi. Yeah, my name is Bambi. Okay. And then if you want to change the color of this, all what you have to do is select it, and then you can change the color here. So any color that you pick will actually take effect here. This here will actually increase the size of the text for you, and then you can choose whether you want it to be regular, you want it to be slanted. Yeah, you can just choose that. And then if you want to write, you could just want to change the position of the writing, so you can just change it this way. So I have it here, my name is Bambi, instead of having it this way. So basically that is the type 2. It actually has some options around, some options under it, but I'm going to skip that part. Yeah, I'm going to skip that part. The next tool is the path selection tool. The path selection tool. So with this one, let's say I draw a shape. Yeah, I draw a shape. Now, when you come and click on the path selection tool, what the path selection tool, what it actually does is, you see, it's just making you play around it and then all those things. It actually has so many functions, but I'll just leave it here. Yeah, I'll just leave it here. And then the next thing we would like to look at is the shape tool. Yeah, is the shape tool. So with the shape tool, let's see, it's actually the first option we have there is the rectangle tool. So this allows you to draw shapes in rectangle form. Yeah, so you want to draw a shape and then all those things. So when you draw, anytime you draw a shape, you could see that this property box actually pops up, so you can manipulate certain things here. So now this particular one here allows you to bend the edges of the shape that you have drawn. So let's say you have drawn this, and then you can have this. Okay, so let's say I select this particular one, and then I just want to bend this side and then this side. I don't want to bend this side and this side. All what you have to do is to untick this, and then you can bend this side. It will just affect one part. Just bend this side, it will affect one part. Bend this side, it will affect one part, and then one part will be affected. Okay. Nti nea mɛka ne sɛ tool wei yɛde draw shapes, nti shape na yɛde draw no yɛ rectangle. Nti ɛma wo draw ade wɔ rectangle mu, nti wo draw rectangle no na sɛ wompɛ sɛ ne edges ne bɛyɛ straight anaasɛ pointed a wobɛtumi de saa options yɛ ɛwɔ hanom yi ayɛ changes no nti sɛ ebi a wo draw na sɛ wonya options wei a wobɛtumi aba windows woba properties a ɛbɛba pɛpɛɛpɛ wobɛnya. So assuming you draw the shape tool and then you don't get this property box, you can just go to windows and then you tick properties and then it will come. So the next one that we have here is the ellipse tool. Is the I think rounded rectangle tool. So that one also draws the same rectangle, but it just bends the edges for you. So you see it has already bent the edges for you. So basically it's just like the rectangle tool. The next one is the ellipse tool. So now the ellipse tool allows you to draw elliptical vector shapes, path or pixel shapes. So let's say everything you draw will just be in a circle format. So you see, as we are drawing, it's in a circle format. So we draw, it comes in a circle, And now when I'm drawing and then you want a perfect circle, all what you have to do is to hold shift when you are drawing a circle, and then you could see that when you leave it, you get a perfect circle. So that is basically what that does. Until we had to draw circles, until all drawn as up say or circle near paper until we be shift now I draw to draw your bone say then I pɛpɛɛpɛ ama wo nti no. So the next one is the polygon tool. So that one also allows you to draw in a polygonal way. So yeah, that is it. When you would draw there polygon. So in the case of polygon a 5 sides, shapes have 5 sides be a polygon. Into line, the line tool allows you to draw lines here. It allows you to draw lines. Now if you want to draw a straight line in Photoshop, this applies to almost all the tools. Let me delete this ones. So let me pick the brush tool, for instance. We want to draw a straight line with the brush tool. You see, no matter how I'll draw a straight line, it will never be straight. Oops, I think I have to just say, no matter how I'll draw a straight line, the line will never be straight. This is not a straight line, this is not a straight line. But if you want to get a straight line in Photoshop, let me use this picture. Okay, so this is not a straight line, this is not a straight line, this is not a straight line. If you want to draw a straight line in Photoshop, all what you have to do is to hold shift and then you draw. You hold shift and then you draw. So you see my mouse is actually folding, yeah. So as I'm doing it, it's just drawing straight lines for me. So it's just adding up where I ended from, and then it's just drawing the straight lines for me, yeah. So that is it for the line tool. And then custom shapes is like they're just in regular shapes. So like I have some presets here. So this wouldn't be in your custom shapes tool. You just have to download some of them. So you have this shape, I can have this shape here, and then I can also have these shapes here, yeah. So you can just have unlimited shapes. You can just check online and then you download them. Some of them are free, yeah. Most of them are free. I'll try and leave the ones that I have in the description below so that you can download them. So basically that is it. So the next thing we are also going to look at is the hand tool. Yeah, is the hand tool. So now the hand tool actually let us click and then drag an image around the screen. So let's say you want to move to the side, so it's actually helping us to pan all around the image anyhow we want it to be. Nti the mechanism hand tool no, so person who baby a picture anima obetumi de a free one place akọ the other where I won't have picture no sa pepe na etie. So the next tool we'll look at is the rotate view tool. So now this tool also helps us to rotate the canvas so we can view or edit the image from different angles. So if you want to rotate, you can just click and then you rotate it this way. Yeah, you can just rotate it this way anyhow you want it. Yeah. So let's assume you want to rotate it. You see, as at now that I left it, it looks like my canvas is quite tilted. So if I just want to leave it in a let's say I just want to leave it I just want to rotate it so that I get a perfect rotation, you just hold Alt, and then you see as it's moving, it will just move that way for you. So that make a rotation tool no, but me the adane the pictures no, put me the adane the picture. I'm the same ebe ya obey editing na ebefa any picture na beko pepe nti but me rotate no styles bia ope bia and ope so rotate no na ye pepe nso a rotate na waso shift ebe ma wo aye no pepe. Yeah, so I think the last tool here is the zooming tool. So now the zooming tool allows you to zoom in on. It allows you to zoom in. It allows you to zoom in on a specific area in your picture or an object. Yeah. So if you want to zoom into, let's say the mark she's holding, I can just drag and then I can just click and then drag, and then it's zooming in, and I can just drag back and then it's zooming out. So zoom in and then zoom out is just like that. It's the mechanics as well. Person zooming in and also person zooming out. Obe mia o click here now. What drag room? Ebeko o person o babaka o drag pia babaka. Into zooming ni zoom out no. Sa pepe and it's yeah. Yeah, so we have ended the lesson here. Is quite a long one. Yeah, this particular one is very long. Yeah, but I hope I've tackled the tools the way you want it to be. So if you're a beginner here and then if you're a beginner or you're not really familiar with the tools, you can just watch this video. This video is best for you. Yeah, you can just watch this video, and then I promise you at the end of the day, if you watch it and you watch it very well, you pay much attention to it, you'll be able to use the tools in Photoshop like you have never used before. Okay, so once again, I want to say thank you very much for clicking on this video. Thank you very much for showing up. Just make sure you like the video, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. If I said something and then you don't understand, you want more clarification, you can just leave the comments in the comment section below there. I'll just be glad to attend to your question for you. Okay, so yeah, once again, the name is Prince Chumanyimedu. You can call me Kwame Photoshop. I'm always here to give you updates on Photoshop or show you something new on Photoshop.